dear. Iran just attacked a US warship in the Strait of Hormuz. Social media is exploding with dramatic videos claiming a major confrontation has just happened. We see clips of supposed Iranian speedboats swarming a US vessel, missiles flying, and explosions lighting up the water. The headlines are screaming about the start of a new conflict, and the world is holding its breath. But what is actually going on? Is this the real deal, or is it another case of viral misinformation designed to stir up panic? Today, we're cutting through the noise to bring you the truth. We'll break down the viral footage piece by piece, separate fact from fiction, and explain what's really happening in one of the world's most critical waterways. Stick with me, because what we uncover will change how you see these international incidents. First, let's address the elephant in the room, the viral video. It's dramatic, it's chaotic, and it looks terrifyingly real. But after careful analysis by our team and cross-referencing with official sources, we can confirm that this specific video is not what it claims to be. A lot of the footage is old, taken from previous encounters, military exercises, or even from video games like Arma 3. Yes, you heard that right. Clips from a video game are being passed off as real-world conflict. This is a classic example of how easily sensationalized content can be created and spread online. There has been no official confirmation from the US Navy's Fifth Fleet, which operates in the region, nor from any other credible defense source about a recent attack on a US warship. So, the short answer is no. Iran did not just sink or attack a US warship as the viral clips suggest. So, if the video is fake, why is the story getting so much attention? The reason is that it taps into very real and ongoing tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow channel is arguably the most important maritime choke point in the world. About a fifth of the world's total oil consumption passes through it every single day. Any disruption, real or perceived, can send shockwaves through the global economy, causing oil prices to skyrocket and threatening the stability of international trade. This makes the strait a constant flashpoint, especially between Iran and the United States. For decades, these two nations have been locked in a tense standoff in these waters. And it's this history that makes any rumor of conflict so believable and so dangerous. Let's look at the history of real encounters to understand the context. It's not all fiction. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, or IRGCN, is known for its swarm tactics. They use large numbers of small, fast, and heavily armed speedboats to harass and challenge larger naval vessels. We've seen this happen multiple times. For example, back in 2016, Iranian forces captured 10 US sailors after their two Riverine command boats strayed into Iranian waters. While they were released the next day, the incident was a major international headline. More recently, in 2022 and 2023, there have been multiple instances of IRGCN vessels sailing dangerously close to US Navy ships, sometimes coming within just a few yards of a collision. These aren't full-blown attacks, but they are incredibly tense and risky maneuvers that could escalate into a real conflict with a single miscalculation. Another key element in this modern maritime chess game is the use of drones, both in the air and on the water. Iran has significantly developed its drone capabilities, using them for surveillance and, in some cases, for attacks on commercial shipping. The US and its allies have also deployed unmanned surface vessels, like the Saildrone Explorer, to monitor the region. There have been incidents where Iranian ships have attempted to capture these American sea drones, leading to standoffs with US Navy warships that had to intervene to retrieve their property. These encounters with unmanned systems add a new, complex layer to the situation. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Air technology is on the front lines, and the rules of engagement are still being written. Now, let's consider the what if. What if an incident like the one in the fake video actually happened? The consequences would be immediate and severe. Global oil markets would panic. The price of a barrel of oil could easily jump by 20, 30, or even 50% overnight. That means the price you pay for gasoline would go up almost instantly. Shipping and insurance costs for vessels transiting the strait would become astronomically expensive, disrupting supply chains for everything from electronics to food. On the geopolitical front, the pressure on the US to retaliate would be immense. Any military response, however limited, would carry the risk of spiraling into a wider regional war, drawing in other countries and creating a massive humanitarian and economic crisis. This is why maintaining stability in the Strait of Hormuz is a top priority for global powers. The US Navy's role here is to ensure freedom of navigation. They do this through presence, by regularly patrolling the strait, often escorting commercial vessels and conducting surveillance. They send a clear message that the waterway must remain open to international traffic. This is a delicate balancing act. They have to be strong enough to deter aggression, but restrained enough to avoid provoking an unnecessary conflict. Every interaction between a US warship and an Iranian speedboat is a test of nerve and professionalism for the sailors on both sides. Thick commanders of these ships have to make split-second decisions that could have global repercussions. It's an incredibly high-pressure environment that most of us can barely imagine. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? The fake video of an attack in the Strait of Hormuz is a powerful reminder of two things. First, the underlying tension in the region is very real and very dangerous. The ingredients for a conflict are always present. Second, we are living in an era where information itself can be weaponized. Sensationalized and false narratives can spread like wildfire, creating panic and distrust, and making it harder to understand what's actually happening. It's more important than ever to be critical consumers of news, to seek out reliable sources,